All right. Shalom, Yasharala. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Waharakak Wadash Brakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Akwat out there listening. What I like to get into is just the whole aspect of, just being grateful, for what we have. We're really in a place where, like, man, what do you have to prove, in this society? And it was, and that's really just we get it. You'll have your particular desires, but bro, Abaratazah, you have your more than anything, your particular grateful moments. You know what I'm saying? It's we're in a place where, man, it's just everything is really just vain in Babylon. I'll be honest. I'm grateful to have up and running vehicle. First and foremost, Salakia, I'm grateful for Yahweh Bashem Yashah. Keep that first. I'm grateful for Yahweh Bashem Yashah, and that includes what? The body as one. So I'll tie that as one, as all in one. I'm grateful for Yahweh Bashem Yashah, and that includes the body. 2, I'm grateful for my health. 3, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. And then 4, I'm grateful I have an up and running vehicle, able to, get my daily bread. Those are things to be grateful for. I'm not sitting here coveting a Maybach and a mansion. Like, it'd be another day, man. It'd be another day. Now, if you want to use those to gain access to other things, well, hey, then so be it. But that's not my purpose, or any brother who's in this ministry. That's not our purpose. We're pilgrims. We're just in passing. So I'm not up here coveting another man's riches and so forth. Like I always say, if it's there, and it's lawful, hey, cool. If the Lord allows it, cool. But I'm not beating myself up or being ungrateful piece of shit either, man. Okay, this is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 5. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. Okay? So people's that particular scripture right there reminds me of the church, Jake. And that prosperity doctrine. It's all about money, 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 bro. What about faith? What about faith in the Most High? His mercy that He's bestowed upon you. If you truly believe. Yeah, that's a little jab at the little Christian community. You got, like I say, but we in 2026, man. If you still in the church house, hey, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Let me reread that again. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. Hey, and that also, this scripture is a jab to you Israelites out there who's doing things for filthy lucre's sake as well, man. Like, bro, we were not brought to the north, western hemisphere, or what have you. We were not brought to Babylon for prosperity. We were brought here for punishment, for disobeying Yahweh Bashem Yashah. Okay? But don't go being simple and saying, hey, no one's telling you in GMS not to, hey, get your daily bread, man. Certain brothers have different professions, different trades, crafts, career walks. Do what you need to do. But at the same time, be grateful, where the Lord has you. First and foremost, in the body, right? Verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Okay, godliness with contentment is great gain. Okay? Really acknowledging Yahweh Bashem Yashah, man. Like I say, man, here it is. It's a very nice day. Just finished camp. with the Akim, beautiful day. And I'm able to do this lesson, man. This is a highlight. Those two, though, me bringing it out on the highways and byways, I mean, this and this lesson right now, guess what? Today is a highlight of my day, to be quite honest. Anything else after that is a bonus, right? You know, of course, the Most High, you know, gives us bones, but just like I stated, the bringing it out and now me doing this lesson are the two highlights of my day. Okay, so I'm very much so content. You know, my mind really shouldn't, you know, my mind is just, hey, focus on the kingdom, getting the hell out of here, and the destruction of this place, right? You know, and of course you wonder like, man, you know what, would I be able to do that? And that's perfectly, you know, fine. You know, thoughts gonna come to mind, but once those thoughts start being exercised, hey, that's when you have to know your limit. That there's a balance. You know, it's just like, man, look, chances are, bro, I'm not about to see 50 million. You know, is any brother in this truth capable of making that type of money? Of course, we're Israelites, but I'm not. Yeah, you know, I'm not sitting here. Yeah, you know, trying to get this 50 mil. Like, bro, chances it's a very high chance I'm not gonna see that, and that's perfectly fine, and I'm content with that. Why? Because I have Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. Okay, and this comes from a person, hey, who's had terrible days and had great days, but I still believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. Okay, verse 7: for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Right? It's, you know, because now that you think about it, you know, it was very foolish and vain, you know, in the world, you know, and you get the sentiment, but you sitting there, you know, putting stuff in a casket, and Jake's, you know, everything is about to be corrupt. Moths about to get all that, bugs, you know what I'm saying, that everything in that casket, that corpse is about to deteriorate. You know, you could have kept those couple of racks, my boy. You know, you could have kept that chain. You know, and I get, you know, and we get the sentiment, man. You know, Jake loves hard, and you know, so we get that sentiment, but the true sentiment should be what? Being content. Like, bro, it's, you know, that level of contentment really relieves a lot of unnecessary stress that people put on themselves. Because here in this society, they have this little manifesto or guideline, you know, this and that, which for the most part, a lot of that they get from the scriptures anyway, but it's not done through the spirit. Look at marriage. Look at marriage here in the West. That's not through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. Okay, I'll continue reading. Verse 8: and having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But here in this society, everybody tells you need multiple streams of income, bro. Like, bro, look, you know, and like I say, some brothers' lots are different. Some Aquath's lots are different. You know, if you have the time and the energy and your body can hold up, hey, do what you do. But I'll tell you this much: I'm content. You know, and that's very bothersome for people in this society, man, because this is a dog eat dog world. It's a rat race, and you know, and as you can see, a lot of people are tired of the rat race, man. Like, what are you actually trying to, like, you know? Are you trying to get into 1%? You know, which, you know, not saying, you know, people are not capable, but you got to look at the high probability of that, right? Once again, I'm very content. Okay, and call Halal Yabashim Yashah for that. Okay, verse 9: but they that will be rich fall into what? Ooh, let me read that again. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Woo. And what is that? Drown men in destruction. Hey, and when you fall into that temptation, what? Your discernment is going to be off. Lines are going to be blurred. You got all this money, and you see when people fall off, or and people, and some Jake, who do make well off, to do better for themselves. What will always, hey, I'll never forget where I came from, and so forth. Because being wealthy, that's a big financial responsibility. Hell, some people can't take being some people can't take being in poverty well, right? That's why you see crime, an influx of crime, or just crime happening in general. Cause what? They're in a now, because they're what? They're more than likely what? Better ways to get yourself out of that situation than crime. Okay? You can't wish your way out of poverty. You gotta work towards something. You gotta what? You gotta work towards getting yourself out of poverty. And guess what? Knowing that I'll never probably be this big millionaire, but I'm content that the Lord is letting me make my daily bread, keeping me out of trouble, keeping me focused. Look at the panic that people just had with the inflation of gas, man, with the war with Iran right now. People been bitching and complaining at the pump. I'm like, damn, because you look up, seen it go up $1 here and there, some change. People in a panic, man. But hey, I'm content, which we're all content. Call halal Yahbashim Yashah for that. Let me reread verse 9 again. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. That's why some of these big CEOs and some of these entertainers and so forth, all across the board, they getting these $1 million multi contracts, and it doesn't go for every millionaire. You got some millionaires who got there because of what? Because of hard work, discipline, integrity, and so forth. Some not so much, and we see it all the time. That's why the scriptures are the perfect go-to, man. Not a man, not a person. Well, the scriptures are the perfect place to go to. Okay, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Okay, see, money isn't the root of all evil. Okay, a lot of people misquote that. Let me reread that again. Verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Tell you, bro, I'm not, looking out for no breakout, multi-million, I know it may sound like, somewhat unrealistic to some people. It's like, look, bro, if something was to shake for me to make millions or even 500K a year, hey, cool. Call halal Yahbashim Yashah. Chances are that's not gonna happen, but hey, chances are I can still remain what? Content and faithful and grateful for what I do have. Cause really, what in this society, man, just keeping your head above water, you should be very grateful for, man. People are losing it out here, man. People are losing it out here. There are people. When we were at camp, brothers was bringing out, how, those 6-figure people are having issues, surviving. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, the conspicuous consumption. That conspicuous consumption is basically like that whole term, keeping up with the Joneses. Buying stuff to appear as if though, hey, I'm able to I'm able to afford this as well. Pretty much just showing other people, hey, I too can afford this. It's a psychological thing. It's psychological and ego. You never want to be presumed broke. But we're in 2026, man. Everybody broke. Okay? Everybody's broke, man. And if people are doing good for themselves, hey, kudos to them. But just realistic. Come on, America broke. How you not gonna be broke? You dig what I'm saying? How is it that you just Daddy Warbucks and America's broke? Come on. Just be realistic, I'm not, impoverished, call halal y'all by Shimei Shah, but hey, not receiving a few checks, hey, can put you in a very low state. Okay? Y'all can bear with me, Baba Kusha. Oh no. So yeah, Salaki, bear with me, Baba Kusha. There we go. This is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have, for he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Okay? The Most High got us, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua has us, man. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, man. Okay? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua has us, man. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, man. The Most High will never leave or forsake thee. Yahweh Shah HaMashiach will never leave or forsake thee, man. Okay? So if you're truly in the spirit and you're content, man, the Lord's going to bless you abundantly, man, with, when things to come, the kingdom and so forth. Yeah, the Lord can turn it up for bros, like quick, fast. But this place is done for, man. There's no, I'm not interested in shining in this place. As long as I can get from point A to point B and do what I got to do, get my daily bread, and Abaratazar remain in the faith, that's all I care about. Okay? That's all I care about. But that's all I have on this. And Abaratazar, this has been edifying for the body. So with that, once again, call halal Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah Waharakak Wadash Brakatham. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations to the select number of Akyam pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And once again, double honors to the apostles and bishops and elders of Great Millstone ruling well. And you Akyam and you Akwat out there, stay strong. Shalom.